If you can get them to part with more next time, I'd be happy to stock it."
"I'll see what I can do. And since we're friends, I'll even waive my finder's fee," she joked, taking another sip of her drink.
"How about I create a new cocktail and name it after you as a thank you?" Luke offered as he poured another glass.
"And what would you call it? Zura juice?" she asked with a laugh.
Luke choked on his drink. "Frax, no. Give me a little credit, will you? First, I have to figure out what to mix this with, and then I'll work on a name. Creating a new drink is an art form. Best you leave it to the professionals. You stick to piloting that rust bucket of yours."
"Rust bucket? You did not just insult my baby," she exclaimed, well aware Luke was teasing her.
He threw his big hands up in the air in mocking surrender. "I take it back. She's not rusty. She's gorgeous. Just like her owner."
"Better. You know I don't let anyone put down my ship. You didn't have to add in the flattery, though."
"That wasn't flattery. I meant it," Luke said. Kit leaned forward slightly and gave her a look so intense she forgot to breathe. "You're gorgeous, Zura. Believe me, there isn't another female in this bar that compares to you."
"Agreed," Luke chimed in. "Cinder would likely take exception to that statement," she said, as her pulse started to race, and warning alarms went off in the logical part of her brain. This was taking their flirtations to a new level. And damn, she liked it more than was wise.
"Sin's our sister, she doesn't count," Kit said and shrugged in dismissal.
He seemed about to say something more, but before he could there was a loud curse and the crash of glass shattering. His head snapped up as he looked for the source of the disturbance.
"Gotta go,"
he muttered as he rose from the table and headed toward the fight breaking out on the far side of the bar. She watched as the crowd of patrons parted before him, giving the big cyborg a wide berth. There weren't many beings in existence who would deliberately put themselves in the path of a cyborg on a mission. Whoever had broken the peace, they were about to regret it.
"And there he goes, the master of romance and seduction. Utters one compliment, then wanders off to break up a bar fight,"
Luke said with a sigh. "Romance and seduction? Is that what you two are up to?" she asked, trying to keep her tone light despite the sudden pounding of her heart.
Luke winked at her. "If you have to ask, then we haven't been doing a very good job of it."
Her stomach did a slow somersault, and a voice in the back of her head started to cheer wildly. Holy frax. She hadn't imagined their interest. Before she could say anything, a loud crash followed by a screech of pain and angry shouting had Luke on his feet in a second.
"Raveth, someone's trying to get themselves killed. Be right back, gorgeous."
He was gone before she could say another word. She marked his passage through the crowd, who moved out of his way with the same speed as when his brother passed through. The fight was over shortly thereafter, and she caught a glimpse of Kit lugging a barely standing customer toward the exit. Luke was right behind him with an unconscious patron slung over one shoulder. Neither of the cyborgs had so much as a hair out of place. She took a moment to enjoy the sight of their heavily muscled arms flexing as they hauled the troublemakers across the bar and out of sight. She knew it would be a while before either of them would be back to finish their drink, if they got the chance to come back at all. The club was nearly full now, and the cage fights would start shortly, which meant the brothers would soon be too busy to socialize. Or flirt. The safe, sane voice in the back of her head was whispering again, reminding her that this wasn't a good idea. She had come out to the drift to get away from her old life and start over. The smart choice was to keep the brothers at arm's length. The problem with the smart choice was that it meant walking away from two of the sexiest, most decent men she had ever met. If her father were here, he would remind her of one of his favorite sayings, "No risk, no reward." If it meant having a chance to be with Kit and Luke, then she suspected she was willing to risk a hell of a lot. She downed the rest of her drink and sighed. What the frax was she going to do? Stay safe and alone, or gamble with her heart and see where things went with Kit and Luke?